Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. And speaking of seeing you, I encourage you to turn on your video camera. I know, it's like it's morning. You haven't like really prepared. You haven't had the coffee yet, and you'd rather just go ahead and move around without distracting us. You're fixing your smoothie and you're doing all your stuff, and you don't want us to see all that stuff. You're in the bathroom. I don't know. I mean, if you're in the bathroom, it's okay. Just leave your camera off. I take it back. Okay. Your discretion, but we would love to see you. We would love to see you, and it's really just so much more fun when we get to see each other's faces and doing our real thing. So I encourage you to do that, and I also encourage you to stick around for this whole thing and chat with each other during the service. There's a particular time when we really want you to put yourself out there when you're greeting each other, but you can do that throughout, and you can send private messages and public messages, and there's just all kinds of ways to connect now in this whole new world. This Sunday, we're crossing over from the Via Positiva to the Via Negativa. I know with a summer full of COVID and massive fires and racism and violence being encouraged from high places and the foundations of American democracy in question, you may be saying, great, if that was the Via Positiva, Daniel, can we just skip over this negativa nonsense and get on with creating and doing? I mean, we got to get on some positive stuff here, don't we? Well, you may remember that Einstein said, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. And the problem is we don't necessarily know individually what we have done or not done to create all we see around us. We're fish in an ocean of racism and greed and fear and tradition and tribalism and a culture of individualism and competition. So how might I, in some way, by commission or omission, participate daily in recreating the problems, the social and environmental order that most of us know in our hearts and minds needs to change? Now, how might you ever come to realize what your contribution to all this is? How could we ever become self-aware enough to live in ways that are more healthy and life-supporting? Now, how are we to really know deep down what to hold on to and what to release? Well, what if we let go of the idea that we have to heroically save the world by ourselves? And what if we allowed ourselves to release some ego enough to feel into our rightful place in community, in society, in ecosystems, in earth, all created in divine love? What kind of blessing might that be? And what kind of space might that open up? So this morning we're going to do a new song, and I'm going to teach it to you here, and some of you may know it. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah, we're only here. It was always between us and God anyway. So I want to give you a little bit of a report. Yona is still in the hospital. He had surgery to clean up his infection, and he is in recovery. He's getting better, but he had to do some sort of a test this morning and isn't able to be with us. And so this morning, what we're going to do is we're going to call in the spirits with Billy Jonas and the shofar, it being Rosh Hashanah. So prayers for Yona and gratitudes for Billy. Oh, hey, Yona.
Jubilee community. I'm Billy Jonas. I'm in my backyard here in North Asheville, and I've got my shofar. It's the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, and there's 10 days now until Yom Kippur. We call them the days of awe, but I prefer to call them the days of awe, because they're awesome. They're awesome days, 10 days to get things together. And the shofar is used to awaken us from our spiritual slumber. Sometimes it's even more slumber than that. There's 3 calls that I'm going to demonstrate for you. They go Tekiah, Shavarim, and Teruah. Those are Hebrew words. Tekiah means blast. Shavarim means to pierce the darkness with sound. And Teruah means call to action. And they sound like this. Tekiah. Shavarim. Teruah. So let me tell you just a little more right quick. Tekiah, the 3 syllables, ba-da-bop. It's one blast with 3 sort of syllables. Da-da. You can make up your own meaning for it. I like to say attention, because that's what it's about. The second one, Shavarim, is 6 syllables. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. I like to say alive, awake, alert. And the third one, Teruah, is 9 blast. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Get up and do what you got to do. So make up your own reasons for these calls, or your own meanings for these calls, and then take them into your heart and let them be a call to action and awaken from spiritual slumber and a catalyst for getting things together, whatever that means to you. Tekiah! Shavarim! Teruah! You can imagine these things being used on the hilltops around Jerusalem to send messages, kind of like an old telegraph system. And there's one final blast I need to tell you about. This is called Tekiah Gedolah, which means the big Tekiah, or the big blast. And traditionally, people try to hold it as long as they can. So I'm going to do all the blasts without calls to interrupt it. Go ahead and take it on in. I'll see you on Yom Kippur.
Thank you, Billy. And I came back from my notes and I see that you're here, Yona, with us. Good morning, man. I hope you're well. You want to say a word just to say let us know how you're doing? You're muted there. All right.
How about now?
Yep, gotcha.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, good morning, Jubilee, and thank you everyone so much for your prayers. And man, you talk about disruption. I'm right in the midst of it in a good way, and just stepping forward in faith, and just knowing that there's lessons to be learned here, and this is a perfect message for today. And I'm right there with you. And again, thank you everyone for your prayers and your support. It's much appreciated. And we'll see you soon.
It's really good to see you, man. Okay, so as we sing this next song, there's several opportunities to kind of get it. This is a new song for me, and it may not be for you. And if it's either way, just give it a go. So much of this is really not so much about hearing good music as much as it is singing it. And so as we do this, there's a link in the chat to give to the hunger basket, the virtual hunger basket. And Jackie, what is the cause now that we're in the new quarter? Do we know yet?
I do not know yet.
That's all right. It's good stuff. Whatever we're doing is going to be good stuff. We know that. So go ahead and find your heart. No mud, no lotus. Haven't you noticed the patterns of the pain in your past? The things that broke you, they always awoke you to the questions you needed to ask. The sleepless nights and the dizzying heights and the dreams, some of which came true. Until the breaks, heartaches, perfect mistakes created this version of you. And everything you go through grows you. And everything you go through grows you, exposes who you are. If it hurt, it made you softer. If it was hard, it fueled the hunger. If it touched you, your heart took hold. If it was simple, it made you wise. If it was sweet, it made you smile. Weaved an indelible impression on your soul. Your feet, they walked, and your lips, they talked, and your hands dug around for the proof. Every look, every book, picture in your mind that you took created this version of you. And everything you go through grows you. And everything you go through grows you, exposes the roots of an endless summer, part-time temporary lovers, and the swoon of a deep blue sky. And as the time flew, you planted and gathered your truth as it passed before your eyes. And the wound is where the light gets in, revealing the masterpiece that's just beneath the skin. And in the glow of your own light, as your petals open wide and you bloom right where you are. And everything you go through grows you. And everything you go through grows you, exposes who you are. No mud, no lotus. Haven't you noticed the patterns of the pain in your past? The things that broke you, they always awoke you to the questions you needed to ask. Oh yeah. So is Abbie here? Laura, do we know if Abbie's here from Bounty and Soul? If she is, then it's time for you. And if she's not, it's time for somebody else. Maybe not.
Let's go with Paula.
Oh, wait. Looks like we do have Abbie. Yeah.
I'm here.
Yay! Great.
Gosh. Yes, I just had a time unmuting myself, but can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
Hey.
Hi. What a beautiful intro for a song. Hey, everyone. Good morning. My name's Abbie, and I'm sorry I'm a little late. I had an emergency pop up this morning, but this was the most grounded way to ease back into a Sunday, so I really appreciate it. And I'm from Bounty and Soul. Y'all have been an incredible support of Bounty and Soul at Jubilee, and I so appreciate it. I am the dietitian and program manager at Bounty and Soul. I don't know if anyone do like a show of hands on the Zoom of who's familiar with Bounty and Soul, and I'm hoping that I could spend a moment kind of explaining who we are, and then maybe some pre-COVID magic we were doing, and then some current pandemic magic we're doing, if that sounds good.
Sure.
Cool. Awesome. Yay. Yeah. Well, Bounty and Soul is this nonprofit community-based organization based in Black Mountain and Swannanoa. And the roots are really humble and really powerful, and started truly with a group of community members realizing that they're worth more when it comes to food access, and worth more when it comes to the community that they have, where they're experiencing loneliness and just kind of, this spread out community, not feeling organized, not feeling like they have a network of support and love and care like they deserve, and attending a kind of like a free meal program every week and feeling like, dang, some of this food is not what we're wanting, or is making us feel sicker. And then we have this food waste crisis, and so there's food in the landfill, and what can we do about this? And so the community started to organize together and rescue fresh fruits and vegetables and display the food with the most love and dignity and honor possible by putting the fresh fruits and vegetables in woven baskets on checkered tablecloths with fresh cut flowers and recipes. So it wasn't only here's the food, it's here are all of the tools that you need to equip yourself to utilize the food, to build community around the food. And so there was cooking classes and cooking demonstrations and health and wellness classes that would happen. And it truly turned into this amazing community space that would happen. We call it a market that would happen a few hours at the same location, at different locations every week, but like every Tuesday we would gather in the same spot, and every Thursday we would gather in the same spot, and every Friday. And everything that we do is no cost. There's no eligibility requirements, so no one has to answer to any questions or show proof of income or have an ID or license or anything like that. And so it really is rooted in the belief that we all have something to give and that we all need something. And if we bring each other together in the same room over nourishing food, and where we all experience deep, true intentionality and love and dignity, that the world opens up for us, and that we can take care of each other and we can take care of ourselves. And so that's a lot of what we were doing pre-COVID. We were gathering in spaces with 70 to 100 households over about a 2 to 3 hour period. That did not become the safest with COVID, so we've adapted. And we also experienced in about a 3-week period after COVID, about the 70 to 100 households a market to 460 households a market. So our growth was tremendous. And we've adapted to a drive-through model, which we're still operating out of if y'all are familiar with Swananoa, or in Black Mountain, there's an empty Bilo parking lot that's really large. That we're able to operate out of. And so people stay in their vehicles the entire time. So it's low contact and it's really accessible. And we host very similar themed markets where when people drive on site, they're greeted with a lot of love and a lot of warmth and a lot of celebration. And they come to our first station. Like this past market, we were sampling out fresh homemade iced ginger root tea. And so we would greet people with the sample of the ginger root tea, with the recipe, with some info on ginger root tea, that it's great for anti-nausea and it's anti-inflammatory and can reduce pain. So letting them know that this is medicine, and then getting to share the ginger root with them. They would go to the next station, drive through to the next station, and it's a children's program station where we share Bounty and Soul cookbooks with kids, or coloring books, or little activities that the kids can get involved and feel like they're part of this community. The kids' health and wellness is of value to all of us, that we love them. And then there's a local food station that we pop up. That's kind of a tribute to our market pre-COVID, where we have a tablecloth and fresh produce in baskets, and it's all local foods, and there's 2 volunteers that staff that. And so when people pull up in their cars, they're able to have some level of choice still around their food, which feels important. They're able to kind of like see the food displayed. They're able
This is so great.
Yeah.
This is so great. I'm just loving all this. This is amazing.
Yeah. It's really cool. I feel really grateful to be a part of something like this. And the important piece is that it's all been done with the community, and it's something that we create together. That's really important to us, is that we move with community, and our programs are adapted based off of people's ideas and shared ownership of what Bounty and Soul is. And so they'll go to the local food station. We like to shout out to our farmers. It's so important for people to know that where their food comes from, and also for the farmers to get celebrated.
That's just I just got to say, Abbie, I've just got to say, food has been a huge thing in my life for most of all of my life, in a lot of different levels, personally and professionally. And what you are doing is as far as I can tell, this is like the quintessential food program that I've ever heard about. It's about community. It's about the local farmer. It's about us. It's about how do we help. It's about self-reliance and community. It's just a beautiful model. And I'm so grateful to be a part of Jubilee that's supporting that we're supporting you in this.
Yeah, you are. And it's really, really transformative. There's no way that we have 5 staff members, and so there's no way that we can increase in this volume and do what we do without people and communities rallying around this and holding us together and saying, we got you, we're in this. And we felt that a lot from Jubilee, and are really grateful. And we still give out recipes when they come to the market, and in a whole food box packed with fresh fruits and veggies and whole grains.
Well, so Abbie, is there some way that can you put a link in the chat so that we can follow up with you? And because I'm just really so grateful that you came and spent some time with us today in the midst of your life to let us know a little bit more about what y'all are up to. And I know that some of us are really going to want to follow up, and just really appreciate your presence with us here today.
Totally. Yeah, I'll drop my personal contact if y'all have any other questions about Bounty and Soul. I'm very passionate, so I could probably take up your entire meeting time. And then our email or our website, which has a
Great.
lot of information.
Great. Fantastic. Well, Abbie, thank you so much again. This is really a blessing for us, and you're a blessing for this whole community in so many different ways that we probably don't even know. So it's really good to meet you and
Thanks for sharing space.
to get to know more about this.
I appreciate y'all so much. Yeah. Thanks for having me here.
Awesome.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Abbie. Yeah, I know for a fact that Bounty and Soul is an amazing organization. My program at one point volunteered with them, and I want to get with you, Abbie. We're going to talk. So everyone, let's have a nice deep breath together. So our theme today is disrupting order. And I know a little something about that. I had my alarm set for 8 o'clock this morning. I was going to get up, take my shower, have my meditation, light my incense, light my candles, get in the groove. Next thing I know, it's 9:30. I had my order disrupted. I know that happens to you. We have our agendas, we have our routines, we have the things that hold us in place that suddenly, for whatever reason, they go off the rails. You go to the computer, there's a blue screen on it. The thing that you are working on, it's not there. Your order is disrupted. You're having a good time with friends. Something shows up on your phone. What is it? It's a notification. It's a piece of news. Everyone's favorite Supreme Court justice. Your heart sinks. One word comes to mind, and we can't say it in this service. Our order is disrupted. What's the plan? At one point, everything was so full. And then it all falls apart. What's the plan? Breathe deeply. Every day of our lives, we are compelled to wade in the water. To wade in the water. And God's going to trouble that water. God's going to trouble that water. God's going to trouble that water. We're going to cross that river. You're going to cross that river. We're going to cross it together. That's the plan. Breathe deeply. Isn't that a beautiful image? Let's just take a second to look at that. No words. Oh yeah. Daniel?
It's in every one of us to be wise. Chat each other up. Find your heart. Open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. So say hi. Send your blessings, your peace to others in this amazing community, because it's in every one of us. I just remembered when I just forgot. It's like I've been sleeping for years. It's so easy. I'm not awake as I could be, but my seeing's better. I can see through the tears. I've been realizing that I bought this ticket and watching only half of the show. There are scenery and lights and a cast of thousands who all know what I know, and it's good that it's so. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us by and by. So I'm really looking forward to this. Paula and I were thinking about what we might do today, because we had talked about the band being here today and being at Jubilee today, actually. And we got together for a rehearsal on Thursday, and it turned out it wasn't going to quite be possible for us to be in there today. But since we had sort of gotten this gift spot, Paula and I were talking about what we might do, and we thought about songs, and we had a couple of songs in mind. And Paula said, "Hey, I've got an idea. Let's do this little mashup." Isn't that right?
No, that wasn't my idea.
What?
This is your brilliant idea, Daniel Barber.
Paula said, "I'll do this, but only if you tell everybody this was your idea." So anyway, Paula, Miss Brilliance and Miss Beauty and Miss Amazing Voice and Miss Courage is going to do this little song for us.
And when you sent it to me yesterday, I told you, you're either absolutely brilliant or crazy. Everyone can decide as they listen to this. Disruption of two songs combined to one. Do you want to tell them what the songs are, Daniel? I think that would help.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you should just go ahead and do it and surprise them.
No, I think it would make more sense to their brains, because I think it's too much to take in.
It's too much. It's too much. Okay, so this is The Times They Are A-Changin', an old Bob Dylan song, and 2 a.m., the Anna Nalick song that we've heard at Jubilee a lot.
So I'm singing the lyrics mostly of the Dylan tune to the melody and the chords of 2 a.m. And I think Howard's going to enjoy this especially, don't you, Daniel?
I'm sure he will.
Okay, here it is. Come gather round people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming, or you'll sink like a stone. For the times they are a-changin', so breathe, just breathe, oh breathe, just breathe. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. There's no telling who that it's naming, for the loser now will be later to win. For the times they are a-changin', and breathe, just breathe, oh breathe, just breathe. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call, and don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging, it'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changin'. Sing along, people, so breathe, just breathe, hey, breathe, just breathe. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast, the slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changin'. 'Cause you can't jump the track, we're like cars on a cable, and life's like an hourglass glued to the table. No one can find the rewind button now. Sing it if you understand. So breathe, just breathe, whoa, breathe. Just breathe, breathe, oh breathe, ooh, breathe, breathe.
Oh, Paula. Ooh, that was brilliant. I loved that combination.
All about Daniel.
Oh, yeah. Well, somebody had to be able to take his idea and do what you did. So thank you so much. That was gorgeous. Gorgeous. Oh, okay. Well, keep breathing as we listen for these ancient words. In the Gospel of Thomas, saying two, Jesus said, "Let one who seeks not stop seeking until that person finds. And upon finding, the person will be disturbed. And being disturbed will be astounded and will reign over the entirety. And Starhawk wrote, fall equinox is a time of evaluation. Did we plant enough of the right things? Did we tend our crops well? Have we nurtured what will truly feed us? How do we preserve our harvest so it can continue to nourish us through the hard times? In a just world, everyone would have enough to sustain lives with room for beauty, pleasure, self-expression, and love, to restore and regenerate the natural systems that provide what we need. May balance be restored. This is ancient wisdom and holy word. Thanks be to all that is wise and holy. All creation is wisdom and holy word. All creation sings of wisdom and of God. So you may notice where I am. I am here at 46 Wall Street. Since the band couldn't be here, I tried to figure out how, and my friend Van is here. You can see the Celebrating Creation sign behind him, and he was over at the Western Wall a minute ago. So it's nice to be in this space, but it feels empty without all of you. Shana Tova, Happy New Year. I have to admit that being raised as a Protestant in the Midwest, thinking of this time of year as the new year is a bit of a stretch for me. This season feels a little bit more like the beginning of the end. While I know that the days have been getting shorter ever since the summer solstice, it's always after the fall equinox that I really feel that shortening. Suddenly, it seems, though I know it's not actually all of a sudden, there's more dark than light. Typically, there's an evening where I go out for a walk and I realize, oh my gosh, it's too dark for me to walk very far. And I get a little panicky, like, when did the evenings disappear? And a feeling of sadness might come over me, thinking, another summer gone. Well, this, my friends, as Daniel and Jay and others have said, is the Via Negativa, the path that invites us to experience the sadness of loss, to notice that clutch we feel when something shifts, and to get curious about our own reactions in the face of uncertainty. The Via Negativa, which we can see back here with the one that has the leaves falling down, reminds us that this too is a path toward God. Having been raised in a farming community, agricultural metaphors always speak to me. So I love the questions that Starhawk raised in our reading today. She says the equinox is a time to consider, did we plant enough of the right things? Did we tend our crops well? Have we nurtured what will truly feed us? And doesn't this all fit well with Bounty and Soul? How do we preserve our harvest so it can continue to nourish us through the hard times? Facing the encroaching darkness invites us into the deep questions. So breathe. The Jewish New Year has two interconnected meanings. One is the celebration of the creation of humanity as part of the whole creation, and the other is as a day of deep introspection. So in a creation spirituality understanding of the world, these two being linked makes a lot of sense. To celebrate the creation of humanity as part of the greater whole leads us into the question of what role do we play in humanity? Who are we? How do we become more self-aware, more conscious of who we are in relationship to the four-leggeds and the flying ones and the waters and the trees? So whether this feels like the new year to you or maybe the beginning of the end as we lose the light, both paths, Rosh Hashanah and the equinox, can lead us into this kind of time of reflection. And so both are great entry points into this Via Negativa. So the Via Negativa is personally my favorite thing about creation spirituality. And I realize I may be a little weird that way. I also generally prefer funerals to weddings. So, go figure. But speaking of funerals, here's a little advice. Never challenge death to a pillow fight unless you are ready to face the repercussions. See, I can't hear you guys groan. So that one was for Paul Howie, and I don't think he's even here today. Anyway, during the Via Negativa, we enter not just a day or a moment, but a whole season of facing this darkness. It's a time of acknowledging uncertainty, embracing mystery, allowing loss, letting go of security, realizing that even the God we spend our lives seeking is in some ways always unknowable to us. Some people might find this depressing, but what if we could lean into this time like the trees, letting go of all that stuff that we've spent so much energy growing and just sinking down into our roots? Wesley Bain writes, fall is this time of simultaneous bounty and withering. The crops are harvested, even as the natural world begins to fade. If we align ourselves to the progression of seasons, fall serves much the same purpose on a spiritual level. Consider, as autumn sets in, the areas of your life that need to be let go of. Consider what no longer serves you, gets in your way, needs to wither. Breathe. In some ways, as has already been mentioned, 2020 has felt like one long Via Negativa. Forced downtime, like a really long timeout for humanity from the universe. And I think a lot of us realized the opportunity in this early on, like, oh, look, a great big global pause to consider what really matters. But if you're like me, it's hard to stay in that frame of mind for these months on end. Distractions are us. So this move into the Via Negativa is another chance to sink into the pause. And today we sink into disrupting order. There's not much that disrupts the order of one's life more than becoming a parent. The order of your sleep cycle is no longer your own. If you've been at all squeamish about bodily fluids and when and where they belong, you just have to get over it and live with the disorder of spit up and unexpected diaper incidents. And if you're a nursing mom, the inevitability that your breast will leak at the most inconvenient times. And then come the sleepless nights worrying about the risky behaviors of your teenager or dealing with an illness that threatens this person for whom you would gladly trade places if you could spare them suffering. Parenting is one long exercise in allowing the disorder of this other human to reorder your own priorities. And yet you rarely meet a parent who isn't grateful for that reordering. Disorder touches us in a million ways, large and small. The traffic jam that derails your entire day, the death of a loved one that it upends how you imagined your life unfolding, the rising of Black voices that shake us white folks out of the blinding fog of our privilege. The human brain naturally seeks patterns. It's how we learn, and it's how we make sense of the world, and it's how we get through our days. And once we've determined a pattern, we like it to stay that way. The disruption of order of our patterns requires our brains to adjust. And sometimes our instinct is to do everything in our power to get things back the way they were, rather than adapt to a new reality. We can make ourselves and the people around us nearly crazy with her attempts to keep things the same. And some of you are old enough to remember a 1980 movie, Ordinary People, which was based on the Judith Guest novel. The story is about an affluent white family in the suburbs of Chicago. And when the movie opens, the lawyer father, the socialite mother, and the teen son are living in this uneasy tension. Through flashbacks, we learned that the son recently attempted suicide after he was in a boating accident with his older brother who died. And the story revolves around the son and the father beginning to come to terms with their emotions around all these events. The mother, however, brilliantly played by Mary Tyler Moore, wants nothing more than to keep her life just the way it was before her first son's accidental death and her second son's suicide attempt. There is a 3-second shot early in the movie that I remembered all these years later, because in that one fleeting moment, you get the visual of the mother's inner world. The father and the son are speaking in the dining room, and the mother opens a drawer to put away the linen placemats and napkins, which are perfectly arranged, beautiful, orderly. And then she closes the drawer and changes the conversation. I remember that brief moment from a movie I saw 40 years ago, even though I can't really remember much of what I did yesterday, because it was such a perfect visual of her attempt to keep her life tidy and pretty, in spite of the incredible disruption her family had experienced. Maybe we aren't that extreme. Maybe we don't own any linen napkins and our house is a mess. Maybe our order is disrupted when someone cleans up the comfortable mess we are used to. But we all have patterns of responding to a change in the order around us. Author Milan Kundera said, "The longing for order is at the same time a longing for death, because life is an incessant disruption of order." The longing for order is at the same time a longing for death, because life is an incessant disruption of order. We are living in times of extreme disorder in our world. Fires and floods, polarization in our nation, and fears about the election, climate catastrophe, human violence. How can this much disruption to the order of things be a spiritual path? Well, I believe, as Daniel mentioned earlier, this may be the most important divine calling any of us have heard in our lifetime. If these times don't push us into the arms of God, I'm not sure what will. Jubilee enters this Via Negativa after a year of disruption, not only in the world, but in our own community life. It's been over a year since our beloved Howard stepped back from leading the merry band of goofballs that he began. And then a new minister came and went. And then Don's steady leadership as administrator ended. And in the midst of it all, COVID hit, and we couldn't even get together to sing and hug each other through it. Each piece of that story is important. And how each of you felt through each of those losses, all of it matters. Because loss reminds us of what we love. Loss unravels our sense of order and invites us to reweave our priorities. I often share the Psalm 46 at funerals. And it occurred to me this week that it could be the official psalm of 2020. It starts like this. God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. Though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult. And it goes on, the nations rage, the kingdoms totter, God's voice is uttered, the earth melts. And finally, it gets to this refrain, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and see God moving in the midst of devastation. Be still and hear God speaking in the cries of humanity. Be still and find God creating something new out of the ashes of our destruction. Be still. This is the invitation of the Via Negativa. Be still, be still, be still. Don't move too quickly past this pain. Let it wound you. Don't shout too loudly over the voices of outrage. Let them quiet you. Don't turn away from the disorder. Let it unsettle you. When the darkness begins to encroach, when disruption upsets your stomach, when anguish breaks your heart, be still and know. Amen.
Thank you, Laura, and everyone else. Thanks for that beautiful message. So now we move into Jubilee in action, where we pray with our feet. And the first thing we're going to do today is talk about the fundraising project that's going on. So Patrick Fitzsimmons is going to tell you a little bit about that. If we can find Patrick.
There we go. Hello, everyone. Good morning. And the project that Jackie's referring to is the new fundraiser we're trying out, the 144 project. And we introduced it last week, and we thought it would be an alternative to the talent project, which we all know and love, and normally happens in the fall, because we thought we couldn't do the talent project this year because of COVID, like so many other things. You know, the talent project is a project we do in the fall where the monies all go to house the cold in the winter time. And normally do that with the Bazaar and with the $10 envelopes. But since we started this as an alternative to talent project, many Jubilees have said, no, we can still do the talent project. So we're going to come up with a way to still do that. So the 144 project is just a new project. And basically this is how it works. We ask everyone to choose a number between 1 and 144. Choose your favorite number, your good luck number, whatever it is. And then you donate to Jubilee the number of dollars associated with that number. So for example, if you choose number 50, you donate $50. And the funds from this, 50% of the monies are going towards outreach projects such as Bounty and Soul, who we heard from earlier this morning, and also for the Room at the Inn project. You might think Room at the Inn is not happening, but in fact, right now, Jubilants are feeding once a month homeless people who are housed at the Red Roof Inn. And the part of the money from this project is going to pay for that food and that project. So like I said, we started last week and we had over 50 numbers chosen of the 144 available numbers. So there's still about 90 numbers left. I'll bet your lucky number is still available. So if you would please choose your favorite number and let us know what number you'd like to choose. And you can do that by putting into the chat the number you choose. Or later after the celebration day, Jackie will be sending out an email which will give you the option to click on a link and choose your favorite number and make your donation as well. So be watching out for that. So last week, as I said, we had over 50 numbers chosen. And I was curious why people chose certain numbers. And so I asked a couple of people, like why was number 47 important to Linda Siegel and Mark Foster, who, by the way, I think you'll be hearing from later this morning. Well, it turns out Linda's birthday is on the 18th of the month, and Mark's birthday is on the 29th of the month. So they combined 29, 18, and bam, there was their lucky number. And so they donated 47. And I just saw that Anna Rowley said that 33 was her number. For some reason, 33 was chosen by like 5 people. I don't know what's special about that number, but there's something good about number 33. So you still have the option to choose your favorite number and make a donation to Jubilee to help us get through these times. So please enter your favorite number into the chat now, or when you get the email later on from Jackie, choose your number and your donation. And thanks for supporting the important work that Jubilee continues to do, even through days of the pandemic.
Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, that's one of the ways that we're raising money for Jubilee. And part of that money is going to go to the room at the inn, how that sort of shifted. We're going to help feed 61 people at the Red River, and Delia is going to be doing some catering. So just know that that's where some of the money's going. And if you do want to continue to give in other ways, we always welcome that. Lots of people continue to make pledges and make plate donations every week. So you can do that in the links in the chat. There's lots of different ways to do that. Also, we have entered the Via Negativa, which is amazing. So we have a new set of seeds, which are the themes for each week. And that's how we schedule gifts. You go on to the seeds, which is on the website. You like, ooh, this is a theme. I have a poem or a song or a dance that fits this theme. And then you reach out to Laura. And that's how our gifts come. So it really is a community spirit. The Racial Equity Book Club is back starting tonight, it looks like. It's on how to be an anti-racist. So the first and third Sunday of each month from 6 to 8. And it's a $10 donation for our facilitator. So that's a really wonderful way to keep deepening into racial equity. Also, we're continuing to encourage people to get together, to make a plan, to vote, and to support people voting. There's absentee ballot procedures. There's a tracking site for that. You can volunteer for all sorts of different positions. So check that out. It's in the newsletter and some of it's in the chat on the side. And also Beloved Asheville is one of our beloved organizations. And they're looking for a new home. They really do a lot with our houseless population. So if you have any leads or thoughts around that, there's an email in the chat as well. So there's lots more going on. You can make sure that you sign up for our newsletter, which is on our website in the bottom left corner. There's a sign up. I'll go through that a little bit more next week. And lastly, I want to invite Linda and Mark to come on and tell you a little good news. Are you there? You should just be able to mute yourselves. Where'd they go? Hello. Well, the good news, where are you? We've been talking about this all week. I can't find you. There we go. They're trying to unmute.
Yeah.
There you go. We can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay, ready? Here we are. Yay! Good morning, Jubilee family. Boy, this tech stuff is interesting. This is Linda Siegel. And this is Mark Foster. And we're excited to announce that we will be married Sunday, September 27th. It's next Sunday at 4 o'clock. We'll be having a very small ceremony at our home, Mother's Day. but we'll also be live streaming the ceremony over YouTube.
And if you would like to join us on the live stream, we have over 90 RSVPs so far. All you have to do is RSVP on Eventbrite, and Linda's going to put that link on the sidebar now, and then it will shoot you over to the YouTube address that will be sent.
Also, if you can't attend the live stream, let us know. An edited version of this ceremony is going to be uploaded to YouTube a few days after the wedding, and we can send you that link. But right now, we've got about 90 people that are joining us that day from all over the country. So that's really fun.
So we're looking forward to many of you streaming with us next Sunday. And if possible, if you can't join us, send love anyway. And so we're looking forward to sharing our love with each other, with our community.
Peace and joy.
Peace and joy.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your marriage. What an interesting time. Like, way to get creative with technology. How often do you have like a global invitation to a wedding? So look forward to all that. So that's Jubilee in Action. Thank you so much for being part of this community. Make sure you stay out at the end to join the chat so we can talk more about the theme this week and get to know each other in deeper ways.
Thanks, Jackie. What all that says to me is that we are here. We are here for all of us. We are here for all of us. That's why we are here. We are here. We are here for all of us. We are here for all of us. That's why we are here. We are here.
Hey, I'm in front of the celebration. I've moved a little bit here for our final blessing. And I'd like to share with you another interpretation of Psalm 46, and this is by Nan Merrill from Psalms for Praying. The beloved is our refuge and strength, a loving presence. There we go. Okay, I think am I unmuted again? There we go. The beloved is our refuge and strength, a loving presence in times of trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with tumult. There's a river whose streams make glad the holy city. The beloved is in the midst of it, and it shall not be moved. Our loving Creator is an ever-present help. The nations may be at war. The country may be left in ruins, yet the voice of the Mighty One is heard, melting hearts of stone. The beloved is with us, the infinite heart of love. Come, behold the works of the beloved, how love reigns even in humanity's desolation. Be still and know that I am love. The one who knows all hearts is with us. The beloved is our refuge and our strength. And so we say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So let's unmute everybody and we'll sing this together, and it will be this glorious river of love. Gifts from you to me, gifts to bless our dreams, gifts from me to you, gifts keep moving through of love, and it flows on through. We're the river of love, let it wash through you. Again. and gifts from you to me. Gifts to bless our dreams. Gifts from you. Gifts keep moving through. It's and it flows on through. We're the river of love. Let it wash through you. We're the river of love. And it flows on through. We're the river of love. Let it wash through you. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, real loud.
Yeah. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man.
Look at that river.
Oh, yeah. We're flowing, man.
We flowing.
We be flowing.
Hey, everybody. So stick around. I guess we're about to be put into some breakout rooms. Hang out for a few minutes, chat with somebody. Enjoy yourselves.
Thanks.